Greetings, my name is Sonali. I'm a counseling psychologist based in Vijayawada. Let me begin today's video by asking you a question. Have you ever thought of taking your life? Maybe at some point of time? If your answer is yes, welcome to the club of suicide culture. You may think I'm sounding sarcastic, but let me explain you that I am not. I'm trying to make you understand that none of us, I repeat, none of us is an exception from experiencing the venomous fangs of suicidal tendencies. So, what makes us different from the ones who died by suicide? Well, you will learn the answer soon. But first, let's look at the causes of suicide. We think suicides are caused because of relationship issues, financial struggles, self-esteem issues, failures, and various other reasons which are proven to be true. However, we also know that none of these causes will remain unresolved. Knowing the fact that these causes can be resolved with time, endurance, and effort, we keep encouraging and telling people to not get discouraged but stay strong. I have collected some commonly said and heard dialogues to people struggling with suicidal tendencies. Let me read some of them to you. Behind every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. This is just your struggling phase. You will overcome it one day. Do not take any drastic step. Think about those people that will get affected because of your decisions. Despite our constant efforts in helping people struggling with suicidal tendencies, why do we still see a gradual rise in the suicide rate in our society? Based on several studies and research, three prevalent factors are identified as the driving forces of suicidal tendencies. The first one is the extreme urge to not live, followed by loneliness and toxic environment. The extreme urge to not live clearly explains how less desirous one is towards life. If we look at the flip side of this issue, the reason why you and I are still breathing and alive is because the urge to not live is little lesser than those who died of suicide. When I say this, I'm not talking about the kind of struggles or the intensity of pain we handled, but I'm talking about the urge to not live and the intensity of endurance we held towards these issues. The greater the urge to not live, the lesser the endurance. The lesser the urge to not live, the greater the endurance. Time to time, we keep telling and explaining people about how different feeling lonely is from staying alone. Although we know what loneliness is, we still find many of our friends feeling lonely. What makes one feel lonely? A person can feel lonely when he or she thinks that they cannot fit in the crowd anymore, or when he or she thinks that their ideas and thought processes and patterns are not accepted and appreciated anymore, or when he or she thinks that nobody can relate to them anymore. A toxic environment can be a place where a person experiences no growth and support, affecting their physical, mental, and emotional being, eventually leading them to experience low self-esteem. So now we understand, although the causes of suicide are resolvable, it's because of these underlying factors we see a gradual rise in the suicide rate in our societies. And we also got an answer to the question, what makes us different from the ones who died by suicide? Now that we learned about the causes and factors of suicides and the gradual rise of suicide rates in the society, do you think if we can eradicate suicide culture from the society? If so, how can we do that? To answer this question, let's look at the responses of people towards those who died by suicide, or towards those who are experiencing suicidal tendencies, or towards the suicide awareness programs. Some of our friends may say he or she is so selfish that they couldn't think about others and were easily able to take this step, while some may say he or she is pampered and spoiled that they grew up headstrong and ended up in this way. While some may say there are people who pretend to be suicidal to get their things done in an easy way, and it's because of these people that they are not able to be sensitive towards those who are experiencing suicidal tendencies. While some may say in striving and struggling times as these, where one is striving for survival, is it necessary to talk about those who are dying by suicide? To answer to this question, let's first look at the phrase striving for survival. In other words, the urge to live. What happens if we choose to provide support to only those who are desiring to live? Will it promote life on earth? Let's look at the aftermath of our choices. Every time a new case of suicidal tendency occurs, and every time we ignore it, we will soon see mankind vanishing. If we cannot provide support and encourage life on earth, we will soon see a barren land. It's like supporting one with seasonal illness while ignoring the other struggling with terminal illness. Psychological studies reveal that the danger of not letting one vent out their suicidal tendencies and stigmatizing it will make them suppress their emotions and channelize it into a maladaptive behavior, who are later identified as offenders and criminals to the society. Eradicating suicide culture is seemingly difficult considering one's thoughts and beliefs. However, we can contribute towards reducing the rise of suicide rates in our society. So, how can we contribute towards reducing the rise of suicide rate in the society? Being an integral part of the society, our first step towards contributing to reduce the rise of suicide rate can be done by being available to the people around us. You can be available to the people around you by checking on them regularly, by knowing their well-being, and by spreading positivity to them. While doing so, let us also check on our toxicity. You may say, are all humans toxic? Well, we are humans and hence we are not perfect. Our toxicity can differ from person to person. We can be less toxic to few of our friends and we can be more toxic to some others. So it's always good to check on our toxicity when we converse with them. When you come across someone who wants to vent out their emotions to you, make sure that you are actively listening to them and empathizing with them. When I say active listening, I'm not talking about the verbal cues, but I'm talking about the non-verbal cues, where you get more information from. Non-verbal cues such as tone and thought process can give you more information about what the person is thinking and feeling about. And when I say empathy, I'm not talking about sympathy. Most of us mistake empathy for sympathy. Sympathy is what we feel towards others' feelings, while empathy is what we think about others' feelings. Having said all of this, there is one important concern we pay less attention to, which is burnout. A person can experience burnout when he or she is providing care for a long period of time and can experience less endurance and more aggression. A person will experience burnout when he or she doesn't pay more attention to self-care. So what should one do when he or she experiences a burnout? The first thing to do is to step out of the situation. And before you choose to step out, make sure that you have a substitute to help the person you are helping. Also, take time for yourself, have some self-care, surround yourself with positive people and positivity, and understand that helping people struggling with suicidal tendencies will take time and endurance. So now, let's look at the symptoms of suicidal tendencies. People struggling with suicidal tendencies are often found talking about dying or wanting to die. They are often found talking about feeling empty, hopeless, or having no way out of their problems. They are often found mentioning strong feelings of guilt and shame. And they are often found talking about not having a reason to live. and that others would be better off without them. They are often found socially withdrawn and isolated. They are often found giving away personal items and saying goodbyes to their friends and families. So, what do we do when we find someone with suicidal tendency? The first thing to do is to check on the warning signs. You can do by asking them questions like how they are doing lately, how they are feeling towards life these days, and if they are having any suicidal thoughts. And when you confirm this, make sure that you encourage them to talk to someone from the suicide hotline number. Also, encourage them to talk to a therapist or a trained professional about their issues and about their struggle. Let's look at what the Bible is telling us about suicide. Do you think the Bible is suggesting us to die to self? To all those who said yes and to all those who said no, let's read Galatians chapter 2 verse 20. It says, I am crucified with Christ. Well, the Bible indeed is talking about dying to self. But is that all? Let's continue reading the verse. It says, nevertheless, I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. We readily prefer to do the first part of the verse, dying for self. But do we continue to do the second part of the verse, which says to live for Christ? We prefer to die to self when we fail to meet our needs of love and belongingness, our needs of survival, our needs of having fun, our needs of having freedom, our needs of having power. When we fail to meet these needs, we prefer to die. But do we continue to live for Christ after we die? When you die for self, our needs for self should die along with it, and the needs for Christ should awaken in us. Let's look at what the Bible is telling us to do to help those struggling with suicidal tendencies. Let's read Philippians chapter 2 verse 4. It says, do not look only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 29 tells, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others. Adding on to this verse, Proverbs chapter 15 verse 4 says, gentle words bring life and health, a deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. So based on these readings, let's be available to the people around us. Let's actively listen to them and empathize with them, and let's check on our toxicity while conversing with them. Let's build a suicide demoting environment.